Well, what are we talking about this week? Eritrean national champion and his Eritrean jersey. It looks dope. Check it out. It has been confirmed Egan Bernal is riding the Tour de France. Let's talk about it. Here's more on Egan Bernal. My man Egan Bernal, he rides for Ineos Grenadiers. He is doing the Tour de France. They have said he's doing the Tour de France this year. His recovery and his comeback must be coming good because Geraint Thomas is doing the Giro d'Italia. Now I'm wondering, is Geraint Thomas going to do the Giro d'Italia and also do the Tour de France? Because if he rides the Tour de France, I'm speculating that he's going to be riding in support of Egan Bernal. So that raises the question, or not so much raises the question, it just makes it really, really interesting. Just think about it. If Egan Bernal is on the form that, we know he can do, like the numbers he's showing in training are just crazy. Tadej Pogacar, we know he's going to be ready. He's coming to fight. And then we got last year's winner, Jonas Vingegaard. The route that they have designed for this year's Tour de France suits Egan Bernal and Tadej Pogacar. Jonas Vingegaard, he was not at all that happy about it. But if you go back and look at history, when every year they do the Tour de France, they always do the Tour sort of like in opposite of the person who won the Tour. I feel like they're trying to challenge the rider who won to see if he can win on a different type of terrain and justify him being the Tour de France champion. Lance Armstrong did it, so did Miguel Indurain. It didn't matter what the terrain was. This is going to test Jonas Vingegaard to see what type of champion he is. Egan Bernal, Jonas Vingegaard, Tadej Pogacar, those are the big three. This week in Cyclocross has been a mad one. It's been super exciting. New Year's Day, January the 1st, 2023, the X20 Trophy, BAAL. I think it's ball. I'm not going to butcher the name, but this race started fast. It was exciting. There was a lot of action. I'm going to let you check out some of the action, and then we're going to get into the commentary. Today was very exciting. Very, very exciting. Lots of crashes, lots of spills. And this hill right here would catch out quite a few people. And unfortunately, it will catch out Tom Pidcock. After lap 1, Tom Pidcock and the boys went through ECB on the front. And that's the way they will finish. But on this hill, what I was telling you about, Tom Pidcock, he's styling on the hill. But he just somehow or the other just mistimed the next part of the jump. Because I don't know if he wanted to jump the next part or not. But when he went over that railing, he hit his leg pretty hard on that pull. And when he's coming through the finish, you can actually see the blood running down his leg. So he had 40 seconds up on ECB. It was no way ECB was catching him on the last lap. He was on the last lap riding for the finish. And unfortunately, it just held him up. And he was hurt pretty bad. And he rolled through in dejected third place. January the 3rd, we are on to the second race of the year. The SIWYL Trophy here in Tels in Belgium. No Tom Pidcock, obviously because of the crash that he had in the last race. This would have definitely been the perfect course for him because it was more of a climber's race. They were off to the usual quick start. This would be a very challenging course with the main feature would be this run-up they're about to hit. And as you can see, as they hit the run-up, everybody's off. And it's a pretty amazing sight watching everybody run this hill. Jens Adams on the front running up the hill. He would lead the race for the first lap. He would fade to 7th place, unfortunately. Good showing by the privateer. But the race went on as predicted. And this is what happened. It looked like it was going to come down to a sprint between Matthew and Wout van Aert. But right here, Wout van Aert punched it. You see him look down. And he's just like, okay, the race is over. And Matthew just rolls away. But heads off to Matthew van der Poel. Very sportsmanlike conduct. And you'll see what I'm talking about as he crosses the finish. As you can see, the gap opened up really quickly. And that's because Wout van Aert had gotten a puncture. Matthew van der Poel knew this, and instead of doing a huge celebration at the finish, he just gave a gentle wave. Because these guys, even though they're competitors, they're good friends off of the bike. So that's pretty cool to see. Respect for one another. And ECB managed to beat out Van der Haar and finish third, keeping his lead in the series. This was an amazing race. This is January the 5th, X2O Series, the third race of the year, and this basically was the Wout van Aert show. So they had a really good start, really fast start as normal, but this race would be basically the whole race. It's like beach sand, the whole course. As you can see how they're coming down, you have to have tons of control, and the sand is so deep that for the first lap they pretty much run this whole stretch. But isn't that an awesome sight? Everybody's like exactly the same going up this hill, running one behind the other, and you can see the control they have to have coming down there. Right here, Laurens Schwark applies the pressure. He's known as the king of the sand, and he's definitely showing his stuff. He gets a bit of gap on Matthew and Van Aert, but the power that Matthew van der Poel displays right there, that he just rides around Schwark, and then Wout van Aert tries to, but he wasn't able to, and he just rides away. He just applying the pressure. Right here, it looked like this is really going to be a good race all the way to the end. But then the rain came, and Van Aert really had problems in the corners. He picked the wrong tires at the beginning of the race, so he had to ride almost a whole lap. I think a lap and a half on these like sort of slicky tires. You can see him coming around this corner, really having problems trying to grab onto the soil. But luckily for him, there was enough straightaway and hard surface for him to make use of those tires, so he was able to stay in touch with Van der Poel. Again, we come to that little really small hill section where Van der Poel was able to ride around Van Aert, but the only reason I think Van Aert wasn't able to ride the hill is because of his tire choice. So you would see after he changes his tires, big difference it made. So like I said, when he got in the straightaway, these flat hard space, he was okay. And he makes the bike change, he just about keeps it up. He almost fell off. But once he gets the bike change, the race changes to a completely different race. Schwark is still at the front doing a good job keeping the pressure on. Right after Wout van Aert got his tires, game changed. The game just changed. He went to the front, Van der Poel followed him, and then for about a lap and a half, Van der Poel and Schwark were able to follow. And then after a while, Wout van Aert literally rode away from them. He was a beast today. There's no stopping him. No one could stay with him. And basically, he rode the second half of the race all by himself. He ended up finishing a whole minute and 35 seconds in front of second place Van der Poel. Through the race, we see Matthew stretching his back out, having a little back problems, but he would stay in second place. Wout would finish first. Magnificent ride. Matthew would finish second, and Schwark would finish in third, with ECB chasing up, closing up the gap. It goes up a lot of time. Did they just reinvent the wheel?
Found a new advantage. It's a hidden valve inside the rim, so there is no valve here. It's a small aerodynamic gain, 1.5 watts. It's really small, but it's something. So the valve is inside here, inside the rim. So to install it, we need some special tool to secure the valve inside here. And then to inflate the tire, we need some adapter. Inside here is one car valve and a normal car valve, and this adapter goes from the car valve to the bike valve. So when we screw it in like this, we can deflate and inflate the tire, and then after we inflate the tire, we can close the hole with a rubber plug, and then you see there's no valve visible.
We were doing that by mistake back in the day when they started bringing out the deep dish arrow rims, and you couldn't get a valve long enough. So what you do is get a valve extender, and then you take the valve extender off, put some tape over the hole so it didn't whistle. Yeah, we were doing it back in the day, so that's crazy. But anyway, 2 teams got invites, got that invitation to the Tour de France. 1 team for the first time. It's going to be a good look for them. I'm pretty sure they're excited. I'm excited for them. Some interviews and just on the industry inside of the UK, comparison with the big stores compared to the smaller mom and pop stores. SIWYL Media. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. We got lots of stuff coming up, so keep it locked.